Welcome back, my amazing coin lovers and history seekers. Today I welcome you into another deep and fascinating journey into the hidden world of rare American coins, and this time we are diving into the story of a small coin that most people overlook every single day, yet inside its small frame exists a world of mystery, error, uniqueness, and the kind of extraordinary value that turns an ordinary piece of pocket change into something beyond imagination. So get comfortable and prepare yourself for the unbelievable journey of the Liberty Dime from the year 2014, bearing the Denver Mint mark, a coin that many of us have held in our hands or seen in change drawers, but only a few sharp-eyed collectors ever realize the remarkable truth behind it. Because today, we are talking about a coin whose face value is just 10 cents, yet the rarest known example of this 2014 Liberty Dime is estimated by collectors and experts to hold a staggering value of $265,000 million, a number so enormous that it almost feels unreal until you begin to understand the minting mistakes, the astonishing errors, the rare production anomalies, and the unbelievable possibilities that elevate this tiny dime into one of the most fascinating pieces of recent American numismatic history. And the story begins, like many great coin stories do, with something unnoticed, something that slipped through the cracks of the minting process. This dime, produced at the Denver Mint in 2014, appears utterly normal at first glance, just like every other Roosevelt dime minted that year. But the surface hides anomalies so rare that once discovered, they immediately placed this coin into a class so elite that it cannot even be compared to most modern coins. This is a story not just about a physical object, but about the beautiful unpredictability of minting, the tiny variations that accidentally occur when billions of coins are produced, and how those tiny changes can transform something ordinary into something worth more than the wildest dreams of many collectors. To understand the true weight of this coin's value, we start with the mint mark. The D on the right side of the coin stands for Denver, yet on the rarest known specimen, the mint mark appears to be slightly rotated and very subtly misaligned from its expected position. It is the kind of anomaly that would normally go unchecked because the difference is minuscule. But collectors who specialize in mint mark studies know that even the slightest deviation can be a powerful indicator of a rare mechanical process mistake. In this coin, the mint mark was not only misplaced, it also appears to have been struck with a slightly uneven pressure, causing part of the mark to look deeper than the rest. Mint mark errors are among the most treasured in modern numismatics because the mint mark is manually applied to the dies in the final preparation stage. That means a mint mark error tells a deeper story about how and when the die was prepared and how the machine striking the coin responded in that exact moment. Now, combine that with another surprising error found on this particular dime: slight doubling on the word Liberty, visible particularly around the letters L and B. Doubling can occur due to a difference in alignment during the hubbing process or from die deterioration. Yet on 2014 coins, doubling is already extremely rare because modern minting technology is much more controlled than older processes. But when doubling does occur in such a precise and clear area, it becomes a collector's dream. The doubling on this dime is subtle enough to go unnoticed by many casual collectors, but under magnification it tells a compelling story about the die conditions during the moment of striking. This error alone could turn a dime worth 10 cents into a coin worth hundreds, sometimes thousands. But when it appears alongside a mint mark anomaly, that value multiplies dramatically. Then we move to the next unexpected discovery on this dime, which is the faint but undeniable evidence of a planchet flaw near the rim. A planchet flaw happens before the coin is even struck. It happens at the moment the blank piece of metal is prepared. Most of these flawed planchets are caught and destroyed before striking, but in extremely rare cases, one slips through the automated system, especially when the flaw is faint, subtle, or internal. When the flaw remains after striking, it usually appears as a slight depression or irregular line on the surface of the coin. In this 2014 D example, the flaw sits near the right side of the rim, traveling inwards as a tiny line that becomes visible when tilted under the right light. This is not a post-mint scratch or damage. It is embedded inside the surface of the metal itself. That makes it part of the coin's origin story. That makes it part of its identity as a mint-born error. On top of all these anomalies, collectors observed that the strike itself appeared weaker than normal on certain parts of the coin. A weak strike is rare for modern dimes because the pressure used is incredibly high and the quality control is strict. But it can still happen in unusual moments when a die is near the end of its life, or when there is a temporary issue with pressure calibration in the striking machine. In this dime, the weak strike is noticeable on Franklin Roosevelt's hair details on the obverse. The strands appear faint compared to standard strikes from that year. While a weak strike alone would not create an astronomical value, when combined with mint mark misalignment, doubling, and planchet flaws, it becomes part of a perfect storm of rarity. Every error adds a new chapter to the story of how this coin came to be. Each mistake reflects a moment inside the Denver Mint where machinery, metal, timing, and precision aligned imperfectly to create something extraordinary. And when a collector finally discovered all these traits occurring together in one dime, it took only a moment for numismatic experts to recognize that they were looking at something incredibly rare, something so unique that if placed into an auction with high-end collectors, its price could soar beyond anything expected for a modern dime. But rarity alone is never the complete story. The real value behind any rare coin comes from how collectors engage with its story, how they perceive its uniqueness, how they understand the improbability of its existence, and how badly they want to possess something nobody else in the world has. And in the case of this 2014 Liberty dime, its uniqueness is overwhelming. It is not merely a coin with one error, or two errors. It is a coin where multiple rare conditions layer on top of each other in one miraculous combination. Imagine how many billions of coins the United States Mint produces. Then imagine how many of those coins undergo perfect quality control, how few errors escape the mint now compared to decades ago, and how much effort goes into preventing exactly the kinds of mistakes we see on this dime. This coin is a survivor of impossibility. It is a coin that was not meant to reach the public, yet it did. It is a coin that was not meant to appear as anything special, yet it became one of the most important modern era coins ever documented. Collectors often say that coins like this can become entire legends on their own. And indeed, the 2014 Liberty dime has taken on a sort of mythical status among those who study and hunt rare modern minting errors. It forces collectors to rethink the value of newer coins. It proves that even in a modern world where precision technology rules the minting process, miracles of rarity still happen. The Denver Mint itself has a long history of producing coins that become era-related legends. From slight misalignments to rare double dies to missing inscriptions, the Denver Mint is known among collectors as the place where unexpected treasures sometimes emerge. And this 2014 dime is no exception. When experts studied it closely, many agreed that the combination of errors on this coin is so unusual that it is almost statistically impossible. That impossibility fuels its value. It fuels the imagination of collectors who dream about finding one of their own. It fuels every story told about the little dime that accidentally became worth more than the world's most expensive works of art. And now imagine the journey of this coin. It may have been part of a bag of freshly produced dimes shipped out to local banks. It may have gone through hands buying snacks, paying for gas, or sitting in someone's change jar for months. Perhaps it lived unnoticed in a drawer or pocket before someone with a curious eye picked it up and noticed something strangely different about it. That discovery is part of the magic of coin collecting. It is the reminder that even in the most ordinary places, extraordinary things may be hiding. The collector who first recognized its anomalies likely experienced that rush of excitement, that sense of electricity that runs through the mind when you realize you are holding something that the world hasn't fully recognized yet. Then came the evaluation, the magnification, the photographs, and the confirmations by experts. And slowly, the story of the coin grew. With each expert who studied it, the uniqueness became clearer.